for joining us. Roadrunner, thanks for coming.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Mushroom just a little bit more like spacing from rocks, so that you have better firing arc angles on things. You cut yourself off a couple times with that, and then just watching your positioning. Sometimes you got a little too solo for focused versus team focused with your positioning, meaning that you were kind of playing for like you were kind of playing in survival mode a little bit, um, instead of like thinking about where your ship would be in relation to supporting your allies. Um, not a bad thing, just a you approach the game differently thing, and a couple adjustments would make you a stronger player. Um, and Smile, not bad really. I haven't seen enough of you play to have any long-standing notes. However, you did get a little aggressive with the Lucian, and while you killed that Shima in that one match, which was it was a treat to watch. That was a good revenge for the torps that Cubes ate. That could have easily ended up in your death. Uh, Making sure you have an escape plan when you're taking a gunfight is important. So make sure you look around and you think, hey, how do I get out of this situation? Um, it's not about going in; it's about getting out. Uh, there's we try. I'm not saying you were, but we try not to do hero ball where we go balls to the wall and then it's like, okay, that's it. Um, so
100%. Yeah, no, I did feel like I was playing with the best player, especially trying to duke it out with a Petro. I should not have done that.
um, hello, friends from 2XD.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Do you guys want any thoughts and notes?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Do you guys have your caller in the room?
We do not.
We do not,
I
but
usually
I
do
am
the
recording.
standby.
Okay, I can still give some feedback nonetheless.
That'd be great.
So your guys' utilization of ships is really like below where it ought to be. You guys are doing what's called like a natural split, which is wherever things spawn in, you guys go left, you guys go right. Now that's cool when everybody has actually legitimately lined up in the right spot. Then that's good. Right? We like that. What we don't like with clan battles is hey, we're just gonna go there because it's easy. There's times you guys put Hindenburgs to do like be a strong side kiter, and then it did none of that. And there's times where it would have served you better to put the Des Moines with your Stalin or Des Moines with your Des Moines on the side and double up that firepower and like camp an arc and rock while your destroyer spots for them, rather than have the Hindenburg try to do like a pseudo Bremen thing. The battleships, don't play Yamato. Just find a different battleship. I'm saying that with a lot of love. Yamato is a good BB, and you have every like whoever likes playing her has every right to love her as a ship. But there's better competitive options out there, and those better competitive options will win. That's just the name of the game. If you guys want to maximize winning more matches, so I would encourage you guys to maybe invest in other options. Those being maybe like Sibir if someone has one. There's Kremlin, Ohio. There's Montana. There's Vermont. Um, Colombo's off the table this time. And I know people like to what about or what if the other battleships. Um, I I don't know exactly what you guys have or what you guys would fit well with, but those are the ships that are not only good to play, but they're classically easy to learn and easy to find references for and advice on and easy to kind of get going with. So I would encourage you to maybe focus those. Um, it'll reduce frustrations on like being able to maximize some battleship potential. Um, uh, there's times where some of your guys completely whiffed shots on very close targets. Uh, it might benefit you guys to maybe do some train room practices on. I hate to say gunnery drills, but for lack of a better term, gunnery drills of just like have some guys spawn in some very fast destroyers and have them target and try to like put them down. That might be a little more. That might be beneficial to helping you guys grow as players. When you guys played the Stalingrad, I noticed there was a very aggressive push, and that aggressive push with it, like he went into middle. I think some of your players may need just a little bit more time practicing some ships and getting familiar with what they do and how they mechanically play. I didn't see anything like too terribly egregious, especially I did see I guess there were some positives though. Your gearing got our Holland a couple times, which is pretty good. Uh, we'll say though, caution on throwing up a smoke screen when like to screen yourself from a DD that's almost dead, because then that DD, especially if it has a heal, will just heal back up, and now that DD will live the rest of the match, because that's just what the DDs do. Things like Lucian and Holland are famous for just like coming back like a zombie, especially if it's a ledge mod Holland, because ledge mod Holland gets an improved heal. Um, Not that that's something that I would normally advocate as a viable ship, but just in general for your guys' knowledge, like that is going to that's like a tough kind of ship to take out. Other than that, I don't have a whole other hell of a lot to really point out, because most of it is just you guys getting familiar with the game and learning more about the game and just growing as players, and that takes time. And like I can't like, not that I'm trying to, but I can't like verbalize or lecture further on that point to like, here's how I would fix this situation or that situation, because it does take personal identification of like what you're seeing, how the enemy's reacting, and then reacting to how they're reacting.
Don't use
but
the
for the
shimikaze.
but for the
I
most
don't use the
part,
shim.
there's
But it's so fun.
so torpedo boats. Even though you got a great hit on cubes, I'm not saying you didn't, but torpedo boats are famously unreliable, because torpedo boats, torpedoes are a luck-based weapon. You put the torpedoes in the water, and you're kind of like waiting for the clock to tick before they hit and blow up the enemy ship, right? So,
Right.
and if someone has hydro up, they can dodge it. Now, hydro doesn't turn the torpedoes off, but hydro definitely makes it difficult for, um, you know, difficult to hit those torpedoes, right? Especially if you're trying to torp something German that has 6 kilometer hydro, it's just going to see them sooner. You're better served with a gunboat. The current competitive standard at higher levels is playing like Kleber, Marseille. It's playing like Bazan, uh, Gdansk. Those classical gunboats are just usually better.
Smallland.
Smalland is a good one too. Those ships are just classically better. So I
You
would
said Smollett. I'm sorry, I was trying to.
Kleber,
Uh,
Marceau, Gdansk, Bazan, and Smalland. Those are the 5 like current like top like the best bang for your buck. Sorry, I'd put Lucian up there too, I guess, because of the heal as the 6th place. And aside from gearing for smoke work, everything else is, I wouldn't say it's meh, but it just kind of loses. And that's also at like higher levels where you'll see that kind of very limited roster of ships. But destroyers are a very picky thing, because the destroyer has to complement all of the other ships in the field. If the DD can't spot and it can't survive on its own, the cruisers are going to have one hell of a time trying to kill everything faster than the DDs explode, or faster than the DDs can line up those torpedo hits to do big damage, because then you have 2 ships that are not participating to do damage, and instead they're just throwing out torpedoes and hoping they get hits. And for the most part, like, any ship can just spot and not shoot. Even though DDs are the best at it, you might as well bring a DD that can like deal reliable damage. Especially when those gunboats are also very fast. Lucian is not, neither is Smalland. Like, they're not particularly extremely fast ships, right? but the other traditional gunboats are, and they're very good at that role. And those are the ships you should be prioritizing. They're going to be better.
Okay.
Also, with lots of love, you will get more mileage out of running Moscovas than you will out of Des Moines. It's just kind of a fact.
Mine's
It's a
been
harsh
power
one,
corrupt hard.
but yeah. And it's not that Des Moines can't be used well. It's not that you can't hide behind islands and arc over them. It's not that it's not possible to do. But Moskva is going to be more durable and more consistent and have more map presence, and it has a better radar and a better bow and better armor piercing rounds by like, very slightly though. Like Des Moines quote unquote American piercing shells are still good, but they're not much better than that than Moscow. Moscow is a little bit better. And then Stalingrad, I would just not take it. Stalingrad is a worse. Stalingrad is like one of the, I would argue, worst picks. It's slow. It's spotted from space. It has battleship burn and flood time, and it basically sits in the back of the map. And you already have a ship that does that, called your battleship. You don't like, as much as it's sometimes nice to have an additional like miniature, smaller version of a battleship, something more battle cruiser esque. Like it doesn't always pan out. The reason Marseille kind of works in that role is because Marseille is fast and can get in and brawl, and if Stalingrad goes to brawl, it explodes. So, also Stalingrad has terrible broadside armor, absolutely terrible broadside armor. Same with Moskva though, but Moskva's fast enough to dodge and get out of the way if it's pushing in and doing that. Stalingrad's turning circle is so terrible that like it's almost a full kilometer. Like, think of it this way: if you drive from like one stoplight to another in your city or whatever, that's basically how long it takes to. That's the distance it takes for like Stalingrad to turn, give or take, right? Kilometers to miles and all that. But if you think of it in those terms, like it's pretty bad. So I'd encourage like maybe just a different selection there. I know there's people who like those kinds of ships, but yeah.
Another good one is Castilla because it's fast and
Mhm.
it is more maneuverable than a Stalingrad.
It is. Napoli's a good one too. You guys ran that. Napoli's a good one. If you guys are strapped for ships and you absolutely got to dig something up and put it on the firing line, defense is not a terrible option. But if you have a not defense, play the not defense. But if you have someone who absolutely wants to play something heavy, that's going to be better than a Stalin, because at least that thing has a smoke and can go invisible. But Marseille and Napoli and Castilla are going to just be better at what the Stalingrad is trying to do.
Question I have to ask. So when you said like there's like some player that with shots at close range, like who exactly are you talking about?
There was many that I saw. I'm trying to be polite because
No,
I know the
you don't
people,
have to be polite.
Okay.
This is like
LRM.
definitely the time to be polite.
I forget who the Bremen was, but I was playing the Marceau, and at 5 kilometers, I'm running into a Bremen's face, and he's firing full salvos at me and missing, and I should have been dead, and I like killed him in a raw gunfight between us because he could not hit me. And it's
Yeah.
not because I'm French; it's because if I'm at 7 kilometers to a cruiser, the Marceau is not like quote unquote French enough to just live because, oh my gosh, it's the Marceau. At 7 kilometers to any cruiser, that Marceau is getting like dumpstered, and not a single shell was hitting me, like at all. There was no anticipation of me turning, or even like, and there was even times too. I straight lined for 2 full salvos, and the Bremen missed me. Like I even I went out of my way at one point to make myself not be predictable. Sorry, to be predictable, I should say, to be predictable.
So
And I was missed. And I saw that from some of your other players as well throughout the night that there were salvos that they took, and some of our players in some cases were stationary, and the shells just missed, like, completely. Not dispersion, just completely different postal code. I would advise when that happens to check to make sure that you are locked on to the target. Sometimes people aim really quickly with a snapshot and fire, and that quick draw off the hip, if you're not locked on, the shells aren't going to hit there and they just splash elsewhere. And that's not great.
If you guys don't know how to lock on, it's the X key. So hover, put your aim reticle on the ship and press X. And there should be like a green, it should light up green when it's locked on, and it should be gray when it's not locked on.
But for the most part, like, there was a couple games where, like, and I'll admit, like, we didn't bring exclusively our LRM3 team, and we tried very hard to be as fair as possible to not have it be stacked, because that's not the point of this contest, right?
Right.
Like, I'm a Typhoon player, and it's not going to teach you anything if I dumpster you. Like, what helps you is hearing feedback and playing someone a little bit closer to your skill and getting some observations, right? That said, you guys, there was a couple matches that you guys had a good chance of winning. And I don't want you guys to think that, like, holy crap, like, we suck. Do not think that at all. You guys did pretty good, and there was some opportunities where you guys actually had us a little backed up. Not gonna lie, I was watching. I was like, man, LRM might lose this one, and granted, our guys pulled through, but you guys definitely have some things to be proud of from this. You fought some players that were a lot harder than what you guys probably normally face, and I saw you guys actually give some of them a shellacking at times. So, hats off to you for that.
Appreciate it. We have a fairly younger group, you could say, and ship options are pretty limited amongst a few players, which is we're trying to get people the experience in the clan battle that weren't in the clan battles for the group last season.
As you
so,
should.
I mean, that's why
and that's
you saw
good.
some of the
I
ships
mean,
you saw, but
the best ability is availability, right? So I mean, run what people have, but if people are interested in clan battles, then there are some ship lines that are more competitive than others. And as a clan, you can identify which lines are more competitive, and then you just encourage people, hey, you know what? In the off season, try to grind these lines, try to get up to these ships if you can, but
right.
ultimately when you're starting out, yeah, you just want to keep people involved.
So I gotta ask, how do you feel about the Dutch?
What about
Yes.
them?
However, if you want to play a tromp, man,
Don't go there.
you're gonna need to have a very specific setup. Hold on, Basti, I can behave myself. You're gonna have to have
I like
you're
the
gonna
Trump.
you're gonna have to
It's
have a
good
very
boat.
specific
Trump, too.
setup with certain
yeah.
ships to support it that I don't think you guys have. If your comment is that you are like is that your guys are like not having the selections you're looking for or not having the built-out ports you're looking for. If it's the Utrecht, you can put it on a flank with a Nevsky or a San Martin and probably be okay. You could also do that with a Hindenburg or a Napoli or whatever your kiter of choice is and also get out okay. Please do not put it out there solo. Please do not put it on the strong side, and please don't try to push it in. It will explode. It can't do that.
And then
also,
don't try to run all Ludens either, because then you're taking away from your radar pool as well.
Yeah.
So you want to. It's about balancing.
One Prince Van Aranje or one Golden Lou is pretty much like the best setup. Maybe two if you have some comfortable guys. And the Dutch battleship, the whatever the hell it is, the one with those
The
airstrikes, the Erst,
Yeah.
go at your guys' level of play. I would encourage you instead to go after the Saint Vincent. which is what that ship, what the Durst was inspired on, that is going to suit you better.
I do have the Vincent on my second
good
account.
The Vincent is a very good battleship, and it would benefit you guys to run that over the Yamato selection.
But the Vincent is a really hard ship to play. You know, like for even for good players.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But that's
I'm gonna have
also
to.
nice and strong.
I'm gonna have to get going, but I just want to thank you guys for coming out and giving us feedback and running the scrimmage. Hopefully, you can do it again.
Yeah, absolutely, Jim. And I'll be talking with Hyper, and we might set up something with 2XD to, help you guys some more.
Also,
Yeah, it sounds great.
LRM will be doing some internal scrims with itself, like LRM and versus LRM2 and whatnot. So if you ever want to come see it, let us know. What you guys observe.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
we had
that definitely
we had
be
a few
great.
people ask about observing you guys and how you set up and things like that. I think that'd be a great learning experience for us.
That's top secret. No.
Oh, come on. we won't bring Kami to stir the pot about the Trump, I promise.
Nani?
Well, y'all have a good night and appreciate it again.
Have a good
Absolutely.
one.
Good night.
Do you mind if I say something real quick, Af?
Yeah.
So
For it.
So I was the one calling most of the games on LRM's side, and the way I kind of went about the battles is I was kind of just running the same thing over and over again. I went with the same ships. I sent them to the same spot on the same side every game, and that's honestly kind of a weakness on my part. And so I just wanted to point out when you're doing clan battles, if you ever go up against a clan you've played before, you can take that previous knowledge and use it. So like in those scrims, if anyone on your team had noticed that I was running the same thing over and over again, then you could have picked ships and strategies to counter what I was doing in the next game.
Yeah, we did notice. We did notice a little bit of that. We were actually about to start setting ambushes for the Lucian.
Yeah, and that'll help out a lot in clan battles.
Now you're thinking with portals.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like, that's the second time that Lucian has absolutely gone up and murdered me. We should exploit this.
I don't know if it got brought up already, but I think it was Af that mentioned it, and maybe it was Bassi. That you guys were doing like pretty much like 3-4 splits at every game, and just staying on the side of where your ship spawned in on. And
the way I was calling it, I was sending Montana, Marseille, Moskva to the contested cap. I sent the Bremen, the Surveyor to the kite side. I sent one destroyer to the contested cap and one destroyer up the middle, and basically did that every single time.
So it's kind of nice if you guys find a rhythm with like ship pairings. It's kind of a pain in the ass in the beginning because like you're not always put together, but ships that complement one another, right, make a big difference in the end game. So like even like when I was in the Svea and I was paired up with the Bremen, like there were a couple matches where we had to like go across the map to get to one another, but it's a strong pairing, right? And it's hard to break through. I'm sure you guys didn't like dealing with it, but it's things like that where sure, if you spawn and you're all in your spawn positions, you can get to where you need to go quicker, but quicker isn't always better. And honestly, in my opinion, the hardest lesson for me to learn in this game was patience. Like just sitting back and making sure like I'm calculating where I need to be. Again, to Af's point, like there's a Marceau charging, he's kind of telegraphing where he's going and no one's able to hit him. You got to make slight adjustments. So lead the shot more, or instead of shooting full salvos all at once, space them out. Just tap the shoot button and then shoot one turret, tap it again to shoot the second turret, and just keep pulling your cursor a little bit more so you can find out where that sweet spot is, and then you can go full guns on. It's little things like that that will help you get better in the long run.
Yeah, I would say this too. So within, I would say probably 95% of your matches, a cruiser should not be in the cap within the first 7 minutes. So if you're taking one of your cruisers and pushing it into the cap, 9 times out of 10 you're overextending and you're opening yourself up. I mean, that cruiser is now going to be in open water where it can be focused by multiple enemy ships.
Yeah, that
so
was that Stalingrad game.
yeah, you want to keep those cruisers protected and safe until you can, later in the game when you have an advantage, then you can, I don't want to say be a little bit more reckless, but you can be a little more aggressive.
Yeah, a little bit more spicy,
But
right? Like you don't want to be full on
right,
spicy at the beginning of the match. Yeah.
right. And as you face teams that are a little bit more skilled, they're going to look for those opportunities to focus fire. Um, regardless of what it is, if it's the Stalin, if it's, or like a Moskva. Moskva's a great ship, but if it gets focused by 2-3 ships, it's going to go down too. So you want to try to create opportunities. Like if you're in a cruiser, you want to try to create opportunities where you can fire at 1 or maybe 2 ships, but only 1 or maybe 2 ships can fire back at you. Or you're hiding, you're obscured behind an island and you can shoot and they can't see you, like one of the two.
Yeah.
The
Even
exception to
though,
that might
yeah.
be if you have a play that's called where you have to support like a DD that's pushing or something like that, where you want to make sure you get your guns on target. But even in that situation, you don't want to come out completely into open water. You go just far enough ahead to where you can support the DD, and then that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, the first 2 games I noticed, like the very first game, I was in a Svea with Delta in the Bremen behind me, and we found your Des Moines on your home cap, and what we ended up doing is, like, I didn't even do anything really that first game. Like, I literally just spotted and kind of showed my teammates where the position you guys took up was, right? And so Des Moines then radared. He saw that I was on his flank, so he got scared and moved up. And so, like, those are the kind of things, a lot of people want to go into a CB and be the person to kill someone, but that doesn't win the game. It's all about positioning and working as a unit to get the kill together. So by me pressuring that Des Moines, he was then like, oh, I got to fight the battle with Delta and the Bremen, of course. And then the Club Air rolled up on that Des Moines, and it was over. But it's still situations where, patience kind of pays off. Like I could have overextended, but then I would have gotten blown up by your Montana. And so I was just being the eyes for my team, and they were being the guns. But it is always like you always want to put your players in a position where they're contributing to the battle, right? Like there shouldn't be somebody behind a rock who's never shooting their guns. Like your gun should be in a place where they can hit someone, or your eyes should be on a target that allows your teammate to hit someone, if that makes sense.
I think that Des Moines was me.
The very first game, yeah. The second game, oh yeah, to my point. So that first game, you as a Des Moines you were kind of blind, right? Like I think your gearing was behind you most of the game, and then he did that sneaky move where he was trying to go for our A cap at the very end, right?
Yeah.
But he also abandoned you, right? Because he could have gone out wide, and you would have seen me early on in the Svea, so you could have like kind of pushed me back, and you could have probably also pushed back the Bremen a bit, or maybe engaged in the fight a little bit
I know I was
or
hitting
gotten
the Bremen up over an island too. Like I had him AP'd for over about, I think, just around the halfway mark of the HP.
Right. So the second game, you guys tried it different. You put the Summer in front, right? But the Summers came in way too hot, and I had him right off the bat, and we pretty much wasted him. But but that's the experiment, right? It's like you try one thing, you try the next thing. But yeah, like that Summers play wasn't bad. It's just that he unfortunately ran into the rocks. Like if he didn't run into the rocks and managed to go wide and kind of try to kite, I mean, it was kind of a close call with AF and I think he was in the Marceau. It's not
Right.
a
If the
battle.
radar hadn't been there, it might have worked out for him, but unfortunately it was. And
Yeah, and so there was no real way out. But yeah, like,
yep.
but yeah, you do typically you do want the DD in front, right? Being the eyes.
Yeah, agreed.
And then that's that Stalingrad game where the Stali pushed the cap and pretty much died right away. I was surprised because after that, like, we were kind of cocky and you guys ended up taking out 2 of our ships on that cap and you almost turned it around. So, you know, it goes to show how far it goes when you focus fire. Because I did notice you guys were focusing the fire on that round and did pretty well. So, you know, it just takes practice and then it gets perfect.
It does. And honestly, guys, it's like, I mean, I've been playing this game for a long time. I've got over 20,000 battles, and there's still stuff that I'm learning. And you think, oh, I've got this game figured out. And then you start playing with someone who has more experience with you, and you're like, oh my gosh, how did I not know to do that?
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, there's always something to get better at and learn and whatnot. So it's just a process. So, you know, just be positive and upbeat, support each other, and you know, LRM is very, from what I've seen in the short time I've been at LRM, they are very willing to help other clans and work with people. And if you guys ever have any questions, you know, I think LRM, and correct me if I'm wrong, Af, but we're willing to be a resource to people, even if you're not part of our LRM community.
If somebody wants to learn the game, we have no objection passing on information to them.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
It's not healthy for the wider game community to be like, I know things and you don't. Like, that's how games die. And Wargaming does enough of that shit on their own. We don't need to help them along. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah, just remember, if you're shooting a French boat, add an extra few clicks on that shot. If you're shooting from an American battleship, lead it even more.
Yeah, especially if you're rocking the AP, because that AP is slow as shit.
Yeah,
it's got
it's just
parachutes
those
in
little
behind
things,
it.
and once you lock those into your muscle memory, it's like you know, it doesn't take much to have fun. So, but yeah.
Yep.
So I also have something I want to share. I'm mainly the Moscow driver on the LRM3 team. So you can see that most of my matches, Ice Cube mostly relegate me to, you know, camping islands near the base. And to be honest, that is one of the first time when I realized that Moscow has much more potential than I initially anticipated in randoms. Because I got clapped a lot in randoms. I'm not gonna hide this fact. I only play around like 300 to 500 battles. I think it's more like 400-ish. And on Moscow, I only play around like less than battles. But Ice Cubes make good decision related to the Moscow. And I mostly camp in islands in the contested cap mostly, and then radaring or try to focus fire whoever's come across. First game, I think, is focusing on mostly in battleship and whatever DDs when it shows up, and then in between those would be either whatever cruisers. Usually, what I see is usually like Hindenburgs or Stalingrad as well. Some games I do see that, and then the team just direct us to focus on it. I do.
You did a lot better. Yeah.
And yeah, mostly just Moscow. Like in my experience, Moscow is like really useful. Exceptional muzzle velocity means that leading shells is much easier. I mean, like, I led to the Hindenburg at around like 15 kilometers within like 7 seconds. So like, we're very easy to lead shells.
Yeah, you did a lot better of not overextending in the clan battles, not like in the random game.
Yeah, fair enough. Just trying to, you know, hunker down to a good spot, then, you know, see whoever's gonna come out, radar if needed, and then just shoot them straight up because Moscow gun is just amazing. It has incredible accuracy, and with the legendary mod, it's like absolute monster. And I mean, like if you guys can have a Moskva, I think it's a great addition. Like even me, like I'm really inexperienced and have not a very good stat on Moskva. You guys look at my profile, but I did much better than in that clan settings. Like it dealt higher than average damage. But my random game, 15 versus 15, I do here 7 versus 7, and I do more damage than it would have been 15 versus 15. So I would say that Moskva would be a good addition. I played it as according to the instructions of Ice Cubes, and with other like Be Real, I have coached me a little bit on Moskva as well, and it's really good. Good thing to have, to be honest, and good versatile things for the team. So you guys have it; it'll be a good addition.
Moskva is a great vote. It's a premium, so if your players are unable to get it, I mean, if you used a Petro can do a lot of the similar things, and it's a line ship, so you can just grind and get it. But Petro is a great ship as well.
Moskva is not too hard to get because it is just a coal ship. So if you grind the coal and get that early, it's a great one to have for CBs.
Yeah, they're pretty interchangeable, but if you guys ever get to like middle or high storm, there will be times where like there is a stark difference between when you use a Petro versus a Moskva.
Right, like
I'll tell you right now,
yeah.
if you guys get to that position, you'll know when you're there. You'll know when you're there when you're like, man, dude, I think we maybe need the Moskva instead. Like, that's get there though. When you guys get there, you will be big braining.
Well, and I'll say this: the Moskva, it's a better utility boat, and the Petro has stronger guns. In my opinion, I mean, you're gonna do.
Moskva have both good duration radar and good hydro as well, long duration hydro as well. So I mean, it's 5 kilometer hydro, but it lasts quite a while, and good duration radar like 40 seconds. So 12 kilometer radar, 40 seconds, like on a good hull. I mean, like there's not much to complain about, to be honest.
It's completely obscene that the Moskva's radar is just 100% better than the Des Moines. It's like the same duration, but more range.
Yeah, I mean, it's longer range, but the Des Moines radar can last longer.
Mine's at 46 seconds. Looking at when I looked at it in the match, it was also 46.
I'd have to check. I don't remember how long.
I can check my Moskva. I'm not on my laptop right now, though. My Wi-Fi is still out. I'm calling you guys via my calling using cellular right now.
I've even put the radar mod on mine.
I've got a full radar build on my Moskva, and I've got a action time of 36 seconds.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I also run radar mod as well. Radar mod and then the flag, I believe.
I could have sweared it said 46 or so in the in-game, looking at it from the teams list.
I mean, how do you know? I mean, it could have been a different ship that was radaring.
Because I was looking at the Moskva stats. The other ship with radar on your team at the time was Svea. It's like 8.5 kilometer in 20 seconds.
Yeah, I to be honest, I wasn't paying attention to what ships they were running because I wasn't in the lineup.
Right. Honestly, when I was playing the Shima, I was scoring more torpedo hits than I expected.
Not gonna lie, most of them is probably on me.
Well, there. I think I hit the Moskva about once per match. Maybe twice in the first one with the Shima.
That sounds about right. Yep.
If you were in the Shima, one thing I would recommend is that there's something called stacking your torpedoes. It's where you fire multiple racks in the exact same location.
Right,
I
right.
would
Increase the
recommend not
density.
doing that. I would, because 9 times out of 10, DDs miss their torpedo hits, and if you stack, you're minimizing the area in which
Right.
you have the potential to hit. So a lot,
Yeah,
like,
you gotta spread them out a little.
you can spread it out however you want. Like, there's sometimes, you know how like your gray firing arc has like a little line through the middle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There are times where I will put my, spread it out so that I do one halfway to that mark on the right side, and then another one halfway on the left side. So I get a wider dispersion of my torpedoes, and you have a
Right.
better opportunity of hitting. So because the theory is that if you stack your torpedoes but you're constantly missing, then widening your torpedo spread and you're getting consistently 1 or 2 hits is better, right? Then, I mean, yeah, if you can get a dev strike, that's obviously good, but the chances are pretty low that that's going to happen.
Right. Yeah. I think the only time I intentionally stacked my torpedoes was that very last shot at the Monty, kind of really as a bit of a Hail Mary. I thought the Marseilla's Hydra was going to catch that one, actually.
Gotcha. And that
Yeah,
was the time that I noticed it. To be honest, I didn't really see it. I wasn't paying
Yeah.
attention the rest of the time.
I mean, I knew the game was over, so I dove it. I normally wouldn't do that, but since I wanted to keep you shooting at me so we could see you, I chart. Oh,
I was the one.
the gearing.
Yeah,
Yeah, the gearing. Yeah.
I was the one in the Monty, and I don't remember if it was the second to last game or the last game, but there was one time when whoever was in the shimmy got a really good hit on me and hit me with 4 torpedoes.
Yeah,
And
that was the
that
time.
was the last
what
one.
you would have sunk me if it weren't for the fact Monty has a super hill.
Yeah. Jeez. What, you were up to like 30,000 HP by the time that match ended?
Yeah, if I didn't have my super hill up, you would have sunk me.
Yeah. Man, I was like, finish that Monty. Don't let my sacrifice be in vain. But yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
do like the Shima, but I do agree it's not really got a lot of a place in competitive play.
Oh yeah, it does.
It depends. I mean, it's, there
Well, and
are other tort boats that can be utilized.
I mean,
it
I would say
depends
it's
on
a
how
staple.
you're using it.
Yeah, it's a staple tech tree ship, 100%. But other
Well,
ships
and
can do
Hydra
it.
is not the only problem with tort boats in clan battles. It's the fact that 9 times out of 10, the entire enemy team is going to be on voice channel comms. And so even if somebody doesn't notice torpedoes coming at them, one of their teammates probably calls it out before they hit. Whereas in
Right.
random battles, even if you have a cruiser in the lead that's running hydro, they're probably not on comms, so he's probably not calling it out to his teammates.
Right.
I wouldn't say that. I would say it's more of a whenever you fire torps, you're Hail Marying any kind of hit. In
Right.
clan battles, it's easier to avoid those things because there's less things going on, so you're more hyper focused on what you're doing. In random battles, you got a whole shit ton of ships you're trying to manage and look at. It's easy to miss things. That's why you get hits in random battles where you just don't get them in clan battles.
Well, and think about the Shima, right? So if you're using the Shima just for its torps, then you're basically doing nothing most of the game.
Yep.
Because the torps take a long time to reload. If you're
Mhm.
going to try to utilize a boat like the Shima, you have to have a strategy that's more than just torping. So you have to be paired up with a ship that's going to complement its low detection. Maybe a smoke cruiser or something like that, where after he shoots his torpedoes or he shoots a rack, he can spot, and then you can farm damage, because he's still doing something to affect the game and to help his team, as opposed to, well, I just shot my torps and now I have to run away for what, 2 minutes, or minute and a half, because I can't do anything.
Right. I was really trying to stagger my torpedo racks, specifically to mitigate that.
Yep, that's a good strategy. I mean, so a lot of people with Shima, they space their racks out by 30 seconds. So about every 30 seconds they're shooting a rack.
I will admit, though, I might have been tempted in the next battle to just dump all 3 of them on the Moskva to try to score more than 1 hit. It's like, no, he's always over there.
Right. But think about this, right? So let's say you score more than 1 hit and you get flooding, then he just DCPs, right?
Yep.
If you're spacing them out like every 30 seconds or so, and you're getting floods, he's used his DCP, then you're getting additional damage.
Right.
Also, Moskva have hydro, so
yeah.
And usually my team reminds me to turn it on. I don't really remind it. Someone needs to tell me that, please. Just tell me when you guys need radar or hydro. I will more than happy to turn it on if I have them on.
Yeah.
So,
also, in your Shima, what range torps were you using?
The 12s.
Okay, 12 is good. Yeah, don't use the 20s.
I've heard about the 20s. They can be very funny sometimes. Very funny. But the 12s are just... They're too good in the general sense. If I was running 8s, I wouldn't have hit anything, because I was very wary of the Moskva radar. You caught me once and I hid behind an island, and I'm like 11 or more kilometers from then on.
Yep.
You can't be scared of radar. If you're scared of radar, you will do nothing. You have to make sure you position yourself accordingly to that. If you get popped by radar, you're safe or can be safe quickly.
Right.
You can't be scared of it.
Yeah, so just make sure you always have an exit strategy.
Right.
And I'd say, like, for any DD, when you're taking a cap, don't go bow in on the cap. Don't just go straight in. Always take, go into the cap at like a 45-degree angle at least, because 9 times out of 10 they're going to be radar cruisers that can flip on their radar, and if you're already at a 45-degree angle, it's that much quicker that you can turn out.
Yep.
I mean, and ideally backing into the cap is better.
Just because destroyers do have the best time to get up to full speed versus, a battleship or a cruiser. For the most part.
Yep.
I'd like to introduce you to my leg mod Des Moines.
Well, does anybody else have any questions, or?
Nope. At least not from me.
If we have in the future, I'm more than happy to sign up. It's fun.
Okay. Yeah. We'll definitely. I mean, we'll send out some like feelers and whatnot, because there was some interest on 2XD's part of doing it again in the future. So we'll feel it out with LRM3 and see if we can't set something up in the future.
I mean, we'll definitely be interested. I will apologize. There were some scheduling issues, and then I had an issue that kept me from being here. So we will do better to make sure that we don't have to call on the rest of LRM to fill spots. I am sorry for that.
Yeah, I'll also try to fix my Wi-Fi. It's still red.
It's all good. I mean, things happen, so we just appreciate everybody's participation.
It's life. It happens. We all understand it.
I think it was like a big thunderstorm, and then it just out. Wi-Fi's out there, so that's why I don't.
Oh yeah, no, a huge thunderstorm here right now.
Yeah.
During the fighting.
So
my lights flickered once.
I don't know what that's like. I have solar. Light flicker? What's that?
Yeah, trying to convince family to like, oh hey, let's get some solar panels on the roof.
Dude, I'm telling you, 100% worth it.
Especially where I live, it's basically sunshine every single day right now, and it would come in handy.
I live in Houston, where the power goes out all the time. So.
Central-ish Florida.
Yeah.
Thank you again to everybody. I need to step out, so have a great night.
Thank you, Bassy. Hope you have a good one, man.
Thank you, Basti.
Thanks, Basti.
See you guys.
See you, everyone, for
Yes,
organizing.
and for all of our LRM guys, we will post the internal scrims we're gonna do. There's a few that we're gonna set up, so they will be kind of like everybody come in and show up and play. But we're gonna have a few spaced out, some during the weekday, some during the weekend. So just keep an eye out for that. Some might be midday, some might be in the evening, but we're just gonna give people opportunities to scrim and play. And if there's not enough folks to show up, then instead we will do replay reviews or go over a lesson or whatnot. So we're getting there with that. But thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right. Good night, everyone.
Have a good one.
All right. Good night.
You want to switch over to the other